Okay, so let's get started on the homework for the week. So number 1a. So it gives us two vectors to begin with. So a is equal to I hat minus 2j hat plus 2k hat, and b, which is equal to 3i hat minus 4k hat. Okay, so before I do anything else, I'm going to write this in our component form, or in our row vector form, as 1 minus 2, 2, and b is 3, 0, minus 4. Just because it's a little bit easier to look at it to see what's going on. Okay, so A is find projection of B onto A. So we have a formula. It's A.
Mic off. Mic on.
Sorry, A dot B over norm A squared times A. So remember, it says in the direction of A, meaning that the result should be a multiple times the vector A. So let's start computing. I'm going to do these off to the side. So A dot B is going to be 3 minus 8 minus 5. Norm A squared is going to be 1 plus 4 plus 4, that's 9. Norm B squared, that's going to be 9 plus 16, which is 25. Okay, so now we have that this is minus 5 over 9 times the vector 1 minus 2, 2. So you can leave it like that, or you can also distribute it. That's going to be 10 over 9 and minus 10 over 9. Okay, B is find the projection of A onto B, of A onto B. So this is very similar. A dot B norm B squared times B. I should actually write, typically I write this as B dot A, just to keep the same pattern of doing the projection of B onto A or A onto B. I do it B dot A times this. Anyways, so this is minus 5 over 25 times my B vector. That cancels out to negative 1/5. So I have minus 3 over 5, 0, 4 over 5. Okay, so C is find the component of B in the direction of A, of B in the direction of A. So this is basically the same thing, except it's like a scalar and we don't square the bottom, right? We leave this off and we leave off the square that goes with it. So up here we had norm of A was, A squared was 9, so norm of A is 3, and A dot B is minus 5, and there's my answer. And now if we go the other way around, component of A in the direction of B, that's A dot B over norm B, like this. So norm B squared was 25, so this is minus 5 over 5, which is minus 1. Okay. So part E, I'm going to recopy the vectors down. So I had A, which was 1 minus 2, 2, and B, which was 3, 0, minus 4. Find all unit vectors that are perpendicular to A and B. So if I want one unit vector that's perpendicular to A and B, doesn't matter if it's a unit vector or not, I can always do A cross B.
Mic off. Mic on.
So to compute the cross product, we just set this up like usual. I, J, K, 1 minus 2, 2, 3, 0, minus 4. Okay, so here, this is going to be, if we cross out I, that's going to be minus 2 times minus 4 minus 0. I hat minus, so we have minus 4 minus 6 j hat plus, cross this out, I have 0 minus minus 6, 0 minus minus 6 k hat. Okay, so that's going to be 8 I hat minus minus 10, so that's plus 10 j hat plus 6 k hat. Okay, so now we need to normalize this. So it becomes a unit vector. So the norm of this vector is going to be, let's call this n. So norm of n is going to be square root 64 plus 36 plus 100. 36 plus 64 is also 100, so that's going to be square root of 200, which is 10 root 2. Okay, so we multiply that out. We have n hat, right, a unit vector in the direction of n. So I can just multiply this, or divide by the norm, and I get 8 over 10 root 2 I hat plus 1 over root 2 j hat plus 6 over 10 root 2 k hat. Now let me simplify. That cancels with a 5 and a 4, and that cancels with a 3 and a 5. So I have that n hat equals 5 or 4 over 5 root 2 I hat, 1 over root 2 j hat, 3 over 5 root 2 k hat. So that's one vector. It says, the question said, find all unit vectors that are perpendicular. Okay, so if we think of it this way, if I actually have A and B are vectors in the plane, like actually on the screen, flat, then n hat would either be sticking out of the screen or sticking into the screen. Those are the only two directions it can go. So if there's going to be two unit normal vectors. It's going to be this one sticking out of the screen and the one in the opposite direction going into the screen. So here I'll say n hat 1 and n hat 2 is going to be the same thing, but with all negatives. Just like that. And those are all of the unit vectors that are perpendicular to A and B. Okay, find the cosine of the angle between A and B. Again, we had A, let's see, so this is what number? Number F. So A was 1, 0, nope, minus 2, 2. B was 3, 0, minus 4. Okay, so we know that the cosine of the angle is A dot B over norm A, norm B. And we computed these up above. The dot product for, we know that A dot B was minus 5. Norm A was 3, and norm B was, so that's 9 plus 5. So the cosine of the angle between the two is minus 5 over 3 times 5, which is minus 1/3. Okay, number, or letter G. So if we have two vectors, A and B, it says find the area here. Well, we know that this is going to be, the area is just going to be base times height. So the height of this is going to be A sine theta. That's an H. So this is just a base times the norm of A. This is the norm of A, and this is the norm of B. Sine theta. This should be norm B. And we know that this right here is equal to the norm of the cross product of these two vectors. So we computed the cross product before, and we computed the norm right here. So this is going to be 10 root 2, or root 200 if you prefer. Okay, and last question. Oops. Don't know what just happened. Page append. Okay, so again, we have A, which is 1 minus 2, 2. B, which is 3, 0, minus 4. And now we're given a vector C, which is 2, 1, 2. Okay, so if we have vectors A and vectors B lying in the plane, and we have vector C going up out of the plane, and it forms a parallelepiped. Here, here. Okay, that's about as good as it's going to get. It wants the volume of this. Well, this is just going to be, the volume is going to be the triple product A dot B cross C. And it'd be the absolute value if you end up with a negative. But, okay, so to compute this, we do 1 minus 2, 2, 3, 0, minus 4, 2, 1, 2. So we have 1 times, we cross it, oops, let's do plus, minus, plus. We cross this out. We have 0 minus 4 minus 2 times, cross this one out, we have 6 minus minus 8 plus, that should be a 2. That dash kind of mysteriously appeared in there. So that's 2 times, cross that out, we have 3 minus 0. Minus 0. So that gives us 4 plus 2 times 6 plus 8 plus 6. So 6 plus 8 is 14, 28. We get 38. And that's all.